Lee and His Gang versus Mr. Tooth Decay 1976. Both albums received Grammy Award nominations. He also featured as an actor and writer, releasing 2 autobiographies. Muhammad Ali retired from boxing in 1981 and focused on his religion, philanthropy and activism. In 1984, he made public his diagnosis of Parkinson's syndrome, which some reports attributed to boxing-related injuries, though he and his specialist physicians disputed this. He remained an active public figure globally, but in his later years made fewer public appearances as his condition worsened.
Okay, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. We do apologize for coming a bit behind schedule, so very, very sorry about that. We were scheduled to discuss the development commissions that, two that have now been created. We're talking about the Southeast and the Northwest Development Commissions that the President signed into law recently. So, we have those commissions now, and upon inauguration, they will focus their attentions, no doubt, on just what the name of the body says, developing the zones that they relate to. Now, we were supposed to have, as a guest this morning, the National Youth Leader of the Ohaneze Youth Wing, Mazi Chukuma Okpala Ezeoku's we were supposed to have him on to talk to us about this. But, well, things are what they are, but he might still be able to join us. In the meantime, just looking at, in particular, the Southeast Development Commission. There are those that say this has been a long, long time coming, and there's so many aspects that this body will focus its attention on. It is the, it's the finding, not just the considered opinion of those in the zone, but there have been a number of challenges that have been bedeviling development in the southeastern area. First of all, there's this whole matter about it is the only zone that has, 5 instead of 6, one even has 7, and these have their developmental challenges. And so now there will be a sort of strategic and, shall we say, strategic efforts aimed at redressing these issues. Developmental issues, things about climate change, things about infrastructure, and all of this is stemming from. It is considered, when I've read commentary, it is considered that following the end of the Civil War, going back to 1970, it is felt that that particular area, by the way, the President didn't just, sign into law that is the Southeast alone. There's also the Northwest zone, the Northwest Development Commission that has also been signed into law. But we were going to concern ourselves this morning with the Southeast. And it's been a long time coming. And just about everybody has said that. It's been a long time coming. This has always been on the card, but it took the Tinubu administration to actually sign it into law, and that cannot but be good, any way you look at it. So, good morning, Mr. George.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, for me, the establishment of regional development commissions that you are talking about is an indictment on our governors.
Yes,
I hear you. What do I mean?
But explain it, please. Explain it.
Yes. Each of the 6 geopolitical zones has territorial governors in each of the states. And the development commissions that are being established is aimed at bringing development, physical and infrastructural development to those areas. How is it different from what the governors should have been doing in their respective states? You say a development commission. That development commission will now go and be providing water, borehole water to communities. What is the work of the governor? What is the work of the local government chairman? When there was a war in the northeast, it was understandable that as a result of the devastation, physical devastation that Boko Haram caused, northeast lagged behind in physical development. So that commission was necessary for it to do some kind of restoration. That is understandable.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing with the Niger Delta Development Commission, even though that has been abused. That was, yes, that was. Hello?
Yes, we can still hear you. Please continue.
All right. So that of Niger Delta and NDDC was because the oil exploration brought about some environmental degradation, and there was need to address it. But it is now becoming a normal thing for each of the 6 geopolitical zones. What is the reason for establishing the other ones outside Niger Delta and Southeast? Just because it has been done for some regions? For me, it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
The governors collect money from FAC. All governors collect money from FAC. And those that are from the oil-generating areas, they collect additional money in addition to the monthly FAC. So what is, it looks tautological. I mean, then you now set up other regional commissions, just pumping money, and at the end of the day, you don't see what they do with the money. Look at the amount of corruption in the NDDC. If you check the money that has been pumped into that commission over time, these are these developmental projects on ground, you will see that it's a waste of money. That's the way I see it. Oh.
All right, then.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Thank you for calling in. An interesting point of view there, and you can see the logic, you can see the reasoning. What exactly, in the case of the Southeast Development Commission, that is going to be, what's the word now? It's been signed into law, but now it's going to be inaugurated. They're going to have to find members of it. And it is felt that corruption, which is the bane of a lot of such organizations, if that is not a factor, it should help. But that viewer, Mr. George, calling in from Ikeja, has just said, in his own opinion, it's an indictment of the governments of Ebonyi, Imo, Abia, Enugu, and Anambra. What exactly have they been doing? He also has argued, as you've just heard, and by the way, I was telling you that our guest, Mazi Chukuma, who is supposed to be our guest, he's now in place. It's an indictment. Perhaps I could say good morning to you and just hit the ground running. Thank you very much for making it to the studio ultimately. Maybe you could hit the ground running and say, how would you respond to that, Mazi Chukuma? Yep. Okay. Okay. We can see that there still will be the challenges of settling that. Mazi Chukuma, can you hear us?
Not so loud. It's so fainted. I can't hear you loud.
Okay, but you won't
be more audible.
Okay, but you won't believe that you are actually coming to us too loud. That's the irony. We'll see the adjustments will be made. I don't know if the volume mechanism on your device, since you're joining us via Zoom, if it is up enough, because you actually came across to us too loud that we had to quickly dampen the sound. But thank you for making it to the studio nonetheless. I'm still saying what I'm saying by way of also testing the audio. Is it better now? Can you hear us? Because be assured that when you speak, it is very loud here. Can you hear us? Okay. We see the nature of the challenge. And so we'll continue taking calls until we can get a balance and so that we can speak with our guest. He's not a first-time guest. Mazi Chukwuma of Malaizuku's, he's been on our program before. So Professor Edmund, while we're waiting for Mazi Chukwuma, Professor Edmund in Enugu has called in. Good morning to you, Professor.
Yeah, Mr. Fularin, good morning.
Thank you for calling in, sir.
Yes, your topic this morning is very interesting. Interesting in the sense that being a Southeasterner, if there is any region, I repeat, if there's any region in this country that requires a commission for development, that region should be Southeast. You know why?
Tell us.
54 years after the war.
Yes.
The state of affairs in Southeast and in Igbo land are very deplorable.
The state of development.
Yes, it's very deplorable. In Southeast and Igbo land in general, 54 years after the war.
Yes.
Remember that after the war, the Southeasterners were promised the 3 R's: reconciliation, rehabilitation, and reconstruction.
That's right.
54 years down the line, federal government, insistent federal government has never taken that matter seriously. And that is why there has been consistent and unabating demand by Southeasterners that they are being marginalized. You need to travel around Southeast and see the deplorable roads that we pass through on a daily basis in Southeast. So, if there's any region, I repeat, if there's any region that requires that developmental region, that developmental commission, it's Southeast. Federal should look inward and solve the problem of Southeast 54 years after the war. And that is how people, all these youths are still agitating. So it is my candid opinion and view that Southeast requires that development commission. And not just that the president signed it. Signing is good, but it has to let the federal government add teeth to that commission. Let them pump money so that it can, in a way, lessen the agitation in Southeast. Because Southeast is an eyesore. It's an eyesore.
Indeed. Thank you very much for calling in, Professor Edmund.
So that is.
Thank you, Professor Edmund, for calling in. When it is inaugurated, the Southeast Development Commission, it'll be addressing socioeconomic challenges facing the 5 states that we've spoken about. It'll use the allotted funds from the federal allocation to address infrastructural challenges in the region. But then, as our caller first of all observed, the first caller, as he observed, he was wondering what exactly is it that the governments, have been doing with what has been received so far. And, with this commission now, in addition to that, they'll be getting funds from the, they'll be getting federal funds to also address this matter. Now, let me just check if Mazi Chukwuma, if it is any better. Can you hear us better now? Mazi, can you hear us any better? Not just me, but also calls have come in. Mazi, speak up, please, if you can hear us any better. Otherwise, we'll imagine that the challenge continues. Okay. Leo in Plateau State has called in. Good morning, Leo.
Good morning.
Thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
Yes, my uncle. How are you doing this morning?
Very well, thank you. Hope you're good too.
Okay. Yes, we are doing well also. Yes, first of all, your topic is good. I'm an Igbo man who comes from the Southeast. And I must have to commend the president Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the signing into law of this development in the Southeast. Like the last caller has just said, the Southeast need it mostly. And we need it. It is very, very encouraging that we are seeing the development, the dividends of democracy. I will urge the federal government to put in more effort, not only signing the law and abandoning it, to see how they can continue with where the last administration stopped in giving the Southeast very good dividends of democracy. Because I've started seeing dividends of democracy in the Southeast since the APC government entered. The first one is the second Niger bridge. Then this continuation of this Port Harcourt Enugu expressway. So I want the federal government led by Bola Ahmed to go in deeper beyond this to see how they can rebuild the Southeast wholeheartedly. Dilapidated roads, infrastructural developments. This is what the Southeast are yearning. Nothing less, nothing more. Continue the improvement of the dividends of democracy so that the Southeast will feel belong. Because most of us are being rejected by the same country we all belong to. Hence we say 3Rs. And I believe that these 3Rs will be wholesome so that they can be able to fuel the development of democracy in this country. I wish the federal government well in their endeavor in trying to see that the Southeast come to the center of development in this country. Thank you very much, my uncle.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for contributing to it. The Southeast Development Commission, the bill was signed into law recently by the president. That particular bill was sponsored by, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Ben Kallo, as you know. I hear that you're back, Mazi Chukuma. Is it any better now? Can you hear us any better? You can hear us better now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you were away for a bit, and you might have missed part of the commentary, but generally speaking, what we've heard is that, yep, it's timely. I had said at the top of the program that it's been a long time coming. People that have called in have said that it's indeed a very, very good thing. And the last caller actually commended the president for doing the needful. But I've been wanting to hear your view on this, and so now you have your chance, Mazi Chukuma, National Youth Leader of Ohaneze Youth Wing. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you so much. I must commend TVC for coming up with this sensitive and august topic this morning. Just like other speakers, I must join them to commend once again the president for assenting this bill into law. To us in Southeast, it shall go a long way to address the treaty on which the Civil War was ended, which are reconciliation, rehabilitation, and reconstruction. Remember that the Civil War ravaged Southeast. So many explosives were detonated, so many harm was done, many demolitions, destructions, even of properties and lives. And since that 3R treaty were abandoned by successive governments in Nigeria, it is obvious that the Civil War did not end until this bill was signed into law. But signing the bill into law, as we are so grateful, is one thing. Then its implementation is the most paramount aspect of it, to ensure that indeed the commission is going to establish or kicked off in a way that will demonstrate that reconciliation, will effectively handle rehabilitation, because many of our youths are off it as a result of maladministration, negligence, and what have you. So this commission, we are expecting it not to derail as we observed the NDDC did.
Okay.
We are expecting that this commission shall focus on the master plan for the development of Southeast as the only zone or region in Nigeria that has been so abandoned by the federal government. We also want to commend the APC government for showing a tilt of change in handling things in Southeast, though these are basic responsibilities of government. But however, for the fact that PDP were there for years and they did nothing towards it, only promises, we are grateful to APC for attempting to show solidarity and support. At least we can feel a given sense of belonging. Okay. Something that is sacrosanct about establishing this commission is to ensure that the youth constituency, the Igbo youths, are well accommodated in this commission. This will go a long way to address the issues of unemployment, idleness, and agitation in Southeast. Because if this commission is handled the way Southeast slots is handled in governance, where the youths are not accommodated, it will not serve the purpose. Okay. The much expected impact shall not come.
All right.
Hello, am I communicating?
Thank you. Mazi, I'm going to come back to you, but let me quickly bring on Otumba Adebo, who called in from Abeokuta. Good morning, Otumba Adebo, and thank you for holding on. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Okuyori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling.
Good morning to the guest, Mazi.
Yes.
My contribution is this. The development commissions are now going around.
Yes.
We have South, the Northeast, we now have the Northwest, and also the Southeast.
Indeed.
So I am praying to the president to also create, I am a Yoruba man, to also create Southwest Development Commission for us. And also even, not even to me alone, even for the Benue too, the North Central Development Commission. The